It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. We are up dead early on another marvelous Monday. So happy you can join us. My name is Mark Danny.
And I'm Gabrielle Gardner, and a happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday, and it was a busy weekend.
Yes.
Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Man, what a game last night. What a match. What a throwdown. For all the football fans out there, even if you didn't like the Eagles and the Chiefs, you would have enjoyed that game. That was like a soap opera, man. You what?
Oh yeah, I watched. That was a proper Super Bowl game, and I was excited because, immediately, as soon as the game started, I'm like, please don't let this be a game where one team is winning the whole time. Like, let it be, where you're guessing. And it was like we were guessing down to the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was like a good old boxing match, like a Tyson, Evander Holyfield, or Buster Douglas. It was blow for blow, hit for hit. What great quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts and
I
Patrick
felt for
Mahomes.
him.
They put it all out on the field. You saw Patrick Mahomes literally was on one foot.
Yeah.
Man, he was faking that, man, because that run he made at the end of the game.
No, but they were still like, he would have run even faster if he didn't get hurt. So I felt for Jalen Hurts because I felt like he did very well. He was, it was right there.
He was right there, but that's all right. They can be back. But every year we have kind of like a little in-house competition with the staff and crew where we just kind of, put out there who's going to win and what's the score going to be. So we did our in-house predictions, and out of everyone that was here, let's see who got the closest. Well, I picked the Eagles, wrong. Godfrey was with me with the Eagles, wrong. Kari, Eagles, wrong. Adoni, wrong, because Naughty then was here. But everyone who picked the Chiefs, we had Gabrielle, congratulations. Naughty, he picked the Chief, and also Sancho picked the Chief. Now, who picked the closest score? Gabrielle. She called it 42-35,
Yeah.
and that was pretty good. So what was the final score?
It was 38-35.
Ooh.
I was right there. I just knew.
Inside trading. Come get her. I'll check that bank account. She played that number last night.
No, it was the Spirit. He revealed it to me.
Once it's revealed and that number falls, somebody's having a good Valentine. They jealous of your husband. Gabrielle, win that ball. But congratulations again to the Chiefs. And such a wonderful game. I know people were all over the island watching it. Yeah. Whether you were at a bar, you were at home. Even some churches are watching it in the church hall. So congratulations to the Chiefs. Eagles, will see you around next year. I know you guys are going to do well. So let's get into our show, but before we get started, we got to say congratulations to Makala Allen. She's a former producer on the show, and she has been elected president of the University of Buckingham Law Society, and she's being awarded the Roderick Wu Prize for the best performance in the criminal law module. Makala, we are so proud of you.
That's excellent.
Yeah, right?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I don't know if you'll be back on the set with us, but we need to interview you. You need to tell us how it was, how you got it done, and what's next for you. But congratulations, Makala. And we got a great show for you today. We've got the winners of our Super Bowl predictions contest. So they're here in the studio. We got our first place and second place winners, and we're going to be giving away prizes. We also have Central Bank Governor John Rolle to tell us about the economic update for 2023.
Yeah. I think I deserve a prize as well. I know that we didn't have a formal contest. No, this is part of the set. We didn't have a formal contest, but I think because I got so close, I'll just put that out there and let y'all consider it. We're also going to be talking about the winning couple in our Valentine's Day contest. Of course, Valentine's Day is this week. Gentlemen, this is your 24-hour warning. Valentine's Day is tomorrow. And Dennis Deveaux, he's going to evaluate the new VAT tax treatment on health insurance. We're going to have all this and more after a check on weather with Godfrey Burnside.
This is Weather at Sunrise.
Thank you, Deveaux. Good morning, Bahamas, and congrats, McCullough. Very well, job well done. In your first look at the weather, high pressure now building behind that cold front moved through yesterday. That cold front now in the central Bahamas across San Salvador and Exuma. Triggered a couple of spotty showers. For the most part, most of the cloud masses moved through, it's cleared up, and lovely day still weather-wise, but no mild tide, cool at night time. So for the most part, we're looking at partly sunny, windy, and mild. Your high temperature reaching 79 degrees Fahrenheit tonight. Near clear and cool conditions, your low temperature going down to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados, 87 and 70. In Jamaica, 85 and 72. In Trinidad, 90 and 70. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 82 and 68. Across North America, Atlanta, 61 and 40. In Boston, 58 and 36. In Miami, 80 and 72. Dallas, Texas, 52 and 31. And Toronto, Canada, 40 and 25. As you go through the week, high pressure becomes the dominant feature, and so we're looking at partly sunny skies, warming up on Wednesday, with those temperatures daytime now going into the low to mid-80s at daytime. But by the weekend, another cold front is expected to move in on Saturday. That puts her up. When you first look at weather, sunrise, I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Mark.
What a game, what a game, what a game. If you were watching Super Bowl last night, what a game, what a match between the Chiefs and the Eagles. Every year we have our Super Bowl predictions contest, and we have the winners in studio with us. We have our first and second place winners, so we're so glad. Joining us this morning, we have Jonathan Rolle, who answered 4 out of 6 answers correct, and we also have Nicholas Ward, who came second with 3 out of 6 correct answers. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Yeah, good morning to you. To you also.
Yes, and so let's let everyone know how you got here. There were 6 questions you had to answer to be a part of the prediction. So first was, who will be the first team to score? Second, will any player rush for 100 yards or more in the game? Third, who's going to be the winning team? Will the winning team score more than 32 points? 5, what will the final score of the game be? And 6, who will be the MVP? So I guess we all know the answers to these questions now, but let's get into it. So tell us, overall, how did you think the game was? To me, it was a nail-biter. Give me your impression.
It was a nail-biter, but it was a nail-biter. I just didn't think that the last play should have been really as a result of a flag. Let the players play. They played for over almost 40 minutes in an entire game. Hey,
Right.
just let the game play.
Why let a referee's decision decide the end of the game, right?
Yeah. I wasn't into all of that like that.
All right, so what was your take?
I thought it was a well-played game, and I thought the referees had to call the play, make that call, because at the end of the day, they were allowing it to they were letting it ride it initially in the first half, and Bradbury did another hold that they didn't call, and this time they caught it and they called it. So I don't think that there was any cheating on the part of the refs.
Well, I didn't say cheating. I didn't say cheating.
We didn't say bring up the C word, right?
No, I didn't say that. All I'm saying, let the players play. Let them decide the game on the field.
Get him a blind, right? Because, come on, I've seen some holds, and that was like, the shirt didn't even move. The fella is forward motion and get that impeded.
Yeah, he had to rewind, and
They're gonna let that one electric slide.
Yeah.
So you both said the Chiefs would win, but so you had no confidence in the Eagles, or you just thought the Chiefs were gonna take it?
well, for me, I always thought the Chiefs were always the better team than the Eagles. The NFC were, to me personally, I think they were the weaker conference. The AFC had a more competitive teams in that conference. So whoever comes from the AFC,
Yeah, right.
I always thought that they would be the winners.
Did you feel the same way, or did you think the Eagles might pull out a surprise?
Well, they were the better team, but I thought Mahomes is the better quarterback. They have the better coach and Andy Reid, so I didn't think that Hurts, being the younger quarterback and also relying on rushing, was going to be able to win.
What do you think was the best play of the game?
The best play, I think, was that's when they punt the ball to the Chiefs, and they run it back almost to the end zone, and I think that was almost a turning point.
That was a good play.
Yeah.
That was a good play. I never could understand how someone who receives that ball could dodge, 10, 11 men like that, running at you at full speed, ready to tackle you, but that's always a feat that I'm impressed. What was your favorite play of the game, or you think was the top play?
I think the momentum shift was when Bolton picked up the fumble and rushed it back, ran it back for the touchdown. I think that was a key play. Yeah.
Do you think that Mahomes deserved the MVP, and why?
Yeah, definitely. He playing through injury, being able to basically handle the adversity of his teammates making ridiculous mistakes. The Orlando Brown basically false starting, turning one of the receivers, MBS, basically turned the wrong way on the pass. He should have turned left, and he was trying to figure out where the ball was. So he had to overcome a little bit of mistakes. So I thought definitely should have been the MVP.
Do you agree?
Well, yes, well, I think Mahomes, and between him and Kelsey, they're the two better teams, the two better players on the Chiefs team, and it was either or. And Mahomes is capable of throwing for 300-400 yards in any given game. So I always thought that, hey, he can do it, and I thought that he deserved to be an MVP, although he didn't throw for 180-something yards, but he
got the win, right?
He got the win.
He got the win. That's what's most important. Now, there was almost two events happening last night, because there was the Super Bowl and then there was the halftime show. What was your take on the halftime show?
Halftime show, you know, for me, it's a ladies' time to shoot for halftime show. Our team is really the game and the commercials.
There you go.
That's my favorite.
What did you think about the halftime show?
It was interesting. I usually don't watch the halftime show, but because it was Rihanna, I thought it would be interesting. And so I did watch it, and I was surprised a little bit by, I thought it was pretty bad, honestly. I was surprised. I thought it would be more of a show.
Right.
But,
hey, I felt it was a bit low-key, but some of the talk coming out of it is that she's actually pregnant again, and so she was there performing, and she has a new belly. She had a baby recently, and so I could see why she wasn't doing the typical Rihanna moves. But for me, the music speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And she's at the point now you could just stand there, Rihanna, and sing. You don't need to do that. You've earned the right to just stand there and sing with that baby in your belly and do a great job. I was digging the suits, all the white suits and the red suits. It made me think that they were in space. I thought visually it was appealing. With the choreography and the lights, and at the end when she was in the air, I think some people were looking for a bit more, knowing what
as a society, we are spoiled that up and tempo kind of halftime, and it wasn't all that.
All right, well, let's see what happens next year, right, at the next Super Bowl. Why do you love football?
I love football because I'm a sports fanatic. I say sports fanatic. I pull for the major teams in the U.S. football, baseball, basketball, hockey, everything.
Yeah, because I'm looking at you now. You got a jersey on under this jacket, but
of course,
I want to see what's under this jacket.
Of course. So
go ahead. Why do you love football?
Well, I guess eventually, because we don't get to play football here in the Bahamas, obviously, because the rules. But I developed a love for football when I started watching the Vikings. Just their brand of football, very defensive, very hard-nosed kind of football. So that's basically why I love football.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect TV sport. It's the perfect couch sport for me. We don't play it here culturally as much. We do flag football, but I just think it's a well-crafted sport. They get you into the analytics, and then usually it's pretty exciting and pretty flashy. My favorite sport is still soccer, hands down, but that's another thing. But gents, I'd like to thank you both for playing, and thanks to our sponsors for all of the great prizes. So, Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
As the winner, you will receive a date with Rihanna. Well, next time. But you're going to receive a dinner for two at Cruzo's Restaurants at Comfort Suites Bahamas, Comfort Suites Paradise Island. Also a case of Bush Crack Light, courtesy of Jimmy's, and a $50 gift certificate to Super Value. We need to crack this night. Turn on this camera. Let's crack this case, eh? And Nicholas, you are in second place. Thank you so much for playing. But you're going to get a $100 gift card from Super Value and a case of Bush Crack Light, courtesy of Jimmy's. Boy, you can turn up. Put on that Rihanna and get the bottle open and get the party started. But thank you both for participating in our Super Bowl predictions game. Yeah, man, I tell you, busted jersey open. Let's see what it is. There you go. So next year. What's that? Oh, you have a bandwagon fan application form. Oh man, are you serious? So You're not the bandwagoners.
No, this is for
we can
players.
sign up?
Yeah, man.
I'll take one then.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Hold it. Is there any benefits to the membership?
Yeah, man. Next year Superbowl.
All right, let's see you next year, Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again
Thank you very much.
for joining us, Moms at Sunrise.
Thank you very
Jonathan
much.
and Nicholas, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you guys next year.
Thank you very much.
You watching Moms at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Attention customers, next Tuesday, a major hurricane will cause complete confusion and chaos throughout the entire Bahamas. Water, phone, and internet services will be in short supply. Definite data loss is expected to all local and Family Island businesses.
Disasters don't plan ahead, but you can. Be ready with push-to-talk service that keeps you connected with your workforce with a simple push of a button. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Island.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
The islands of the Bahamas. Fly away.
Oh, welcome back. Valentine's Day is tomorrow, and we asked couples to answer the question, what makes their love so special? It is Denise and Philip Poitier who won our hearts with their delightful love story. They are here with us now. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
Okay, so whose idea was it to enter this competition?
My idea.
Uh-huh.
He didn't even know.
And what was his response like when you asked him to participate?
Oh, I didn't ask him. I said we're entering and we're winning.
So I actually heard through a little birdie that you actually won our Superbowl competition last year. So, I mean, well, obviously, you're good watchers, good viewers of Bahamas at Sunrise. How did it feel to win your second competition?
Well, I think if it is coming back home, I remember last year, Suzette called me, and she told me I needed to be on Zoom. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. And she told me I won the prize. I was very excited, but my team is the Eagles, so I wasn't too excited this year, but glad to be here.
They came really close.
Yeah, they did.
It was a super close game. But we'll bring it back to Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So Denise, you said that you love your husband's passion for life as well as his curiosity. Tell us more about that.
You have to be prepared and energetic to be around Philip, because when you say, if you have an idea, before you get it out of your mouth, he is already on it.
Uh-huh.
Let me give you an example. We sell food, and we wanted to open a restaurant. And I was thinking about it. I said, I want to open a restaurant. And he was in the car, let's go find it. And within 2 hours, we had a lease. That is how he
Wow.
is. So you have to be ready. It's like, you know, what can happen if you fail? Try again. So, and I love that because without him, I wouldn't do a whole lot of stuff.
It makes life exciting. All right, so Philip, would you say that you knew the moment that you laid eyes on Denise that she was the one for you?
Actually, yes. It was a classical boy meets girl story, girl meets boy. And I always tell people she activates me. We went to the party right around the corner from our home. And after the party, I gave her a ride home, and she lived right around the corner from my house. So this was 30 years later. I never knew she lived right around the block.
Wow.
And we instantly connected. And I always say we activate each other. So, yeah, it's beautiful.
I love that. So you two have been together for 9 years.
Yes.
What do you do to keep the romance alive?
We do everything together. Like last night when he was heading out for work and I'm making a joke, I'm like, yeah, so send me like 300 WhatsApp messages. And no, because whatever happens, he wants to share it with me. I'm the first person he thinks about to tell me what's going on or to ask my opinion. And I do the same with him. And I think that is what keeps it going.
Yeah, and it's a running joke for me. I ask every year, when is Valentine's Day? When is Valentine's Day? Because, you know, I try to spread the love out.
Yeah.
It's not one day. The fellas who I work around, they go, oh, we got to make this money to get this Valentine's gift. I'm like, dude, come on. It's like every day for me. So.
This is so precious. Okay. So, Philip, how important is romance to you?
Well, we have 4 daughters, so clearly it's like air, you know.
Yes,
and
the passion.
A lot of people tell us we look young, so I think love really reverses the aging process. So beyond just keeping ourselves together, we spread love just to be youthful. Keep up with them girls.
I love it. So I've heard themes of romance and
So we're trying to control the action and have time it we think it is. So just say what it is that you have to say and just accept what the other person is going to say. Don't try to change the person. Let them be themselves and you'll just see how it'll all work together so well.
Philip, you mentioned wanting to make every day like Valentine's Day. What is some advice that you have for, you know, the husbands, the boyfriends out there who want to be more romantic?
Well, I always tell people I empower. Well, she's empowered by me, and if it bothers you for 24 hours, let it out before 48 hours because things fester. And we try to over-communicate because even in our talking, we find new things about each other even to this day. And we are serial entrepreneurs. So like she said, we fail a lot, but we succeed even more with our relationship. So even though we may fail in life, our relationship is stronger because we get to see each other's flaws and make it better.
So Denise, you said that you want to create a legacy together. In what ways are you doing that?
Like Philip said, with our businesses that we have and also with nurturing our children. So we decided to go the homeschool route, which is something new for our family. And so we're already changing the trajectory of our family by doing homeschool. So with homeschool, we let the children actually really dictate what they want to learn and how they want to learn it. So from early on, we're letting them express themselves so that they can find their own path. So with that, you never know where it's going to go. And that's all a part of creating a legacy.
I'm just out of curiosity, did you start homeschooling in response to the pandemic during that time, or was that just something you always wanted to do?
Well, it was something I always wanted to do, but something that I never did. I was so I had it written down in my journal for years, and the pandemic pushed me into doing it. And so we stuck with it, and it is really going great.
All right, so Denise, you mentioned that you were the one who decided, you determined that y'all were going to enter this competition. Clearly, you determined that y'all were going to win this competition, because here we are. What did you think when you found out that you won and you heard about the incredible prizes?
Hey, listen, life is, it only happens once, and we, like with the homeschool, we try everything. So when she said we entered, I was like, hey, we won a lot of competitions, and that's through our synergy. And I was like, let's do it. I don't have to spend any money on Valentine's Day this year, and that's always a great thing.
Look at God.
And yes, God is the center of everything, and then obviously the relationship with you guys and Miss Walker, it just had to bring it home. So it's just always a reason to see you, always a reason to come home. Yeah.
I love it. Well, we're so glad the Bahamas at Sunrise feels like home for you. I'm just going to remind the audience of your incredible prizes, which include a weekend stay at Comfort Suites, Paradise Island, which I imagine with 4 children is going to be a special treat.
Yes.
And as well as Denise is going to be enjoying this lovely basket, this fragrance basket from John Bull. And John Bull wants you to remember to shop their new e-gift card for the luxury lovers in your life. You can purchase online at shop.johnbull.com. So, do you have an idea of when you want to take advantage of this special weekend?
Yes, the first weekend in March.
Yes.
And why is that special?
March is a very special month for us. 3 out of our 4 daughters are born in March.
Oh, so it's going to be a special birthday trip for you.
Yeah, it's all aligned. Hallelujah.
They'll be with the grandparents.
I love it. Well, I think with four daughters, supportive grandparents are super necessary. I'm so happy for you both. Congratulations to you for winning this prize. I think you definitely deserve it. You came in to remind us about true love just in time for Valentine's Day. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
The Euro device is very affordable. It allows you to increase your internet connectivity. You are able to do away with the buffering, say goodbye to the dead spots. It gives them a much more stable connection. Their customers are able to view their digital menus. The establishment is able to stream. It allows for everyone, the customers and the business operators, to have a much more robust and stable internet connectivity.
You watch them grow and make plans for them even before they're old enough to talk. You spend a lifetime of sacrifice to pave the way for their success and create a tomorrow you too can be proud of. Can you tell who is the investor? At Leno, we believe everyone who has ever put a penny aside for a future dream is an investor. If you're new to investing, Leno's financial experts stand ready to design plans based on your goals. Let's sit down and explore the options one-on-one and see how, together, we can make your dreams come true. Whether considering traditional investments like a new home, car, your own business, security in retirement, or your child's college fund, we take the confusion out of the process and make an investor out of you. Call 396-3225 for an appointment. Leno, your bridge to the future.
And welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We are here at the mid-show, dead early on a marvelous Monday. My name is Mark Daniels.
And I'm Davriel Gardner.
And welcome back. We had a good first half of the show talking about Super Bowl. We had our Super Bowl winners here from our predictions contest. Those guys, they were very enthusiastic. They enjoyed the game. They said they were underwhelmed by Rihanna's halftime performance. That hurt.
I mean, I think we all kind of were, if I'm honest. I think the music was great, but of course, you know, she looks about, I want to say like 6 months pregnant. Which, so I guess that was, you know, that was a fun surprise. But of course, her mobility was kind of limited. I really liked the production, you know, the stage, the setup, her backup dancers, they were all super exciting. But I think when you see Rihanna, you expect a lot of dancing. Obviously, she's got those Caribbean roots. You expect a little more hype, but I mean, she's got her second baby on the way, so there's only so much she could do.
I enjoyed it. You just stand up there, you ain't even got to move. Next time they can just have a hologram of you, and that could sing, and you need to do anything. But that was good. And you had the Valentine.
I still enjoyed it. Oh yeah, I had the. I just
Valentine's
interviewed a lovely couple who won our Valentine's Day contest, and I feel like they gave us quite a bit of advice. You know.
And listening to their story, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Yeah. So tell us, why do you love your husband?
Oh, wow. Well, I love my husband. He's a very loving human being. He loves people very deeply. He's an interesting balance of very honest, very candid, very sure of himself, but very sensitive and very thoughtful and very sweet. And I think that is what I needed in life, you know? He's very supportive of me, but doesn't push me to the point of being uncomfortable. So, yeah, he's the yin to my yang. He's my best friend. Happy Valentine's Day in advance.
Someone call my wife. I wanted to say something like that about me on air. Call her now. No, she's dealing with the babies. And, I love my wife just for that. She's also very caring. She's genuine. She loves children. She will give herself before anyone else. The way I've watched her raise our 4 children, bring them into this world and raise them with nothing but unconditional love. She is my hero. She's my woman crush Monday. Right? And, she grounds me. And she is the reason I'm here with you guys dead early Monday and Friday. She allows me to do what I need to do to be the best version of me. And baby, don't worry. You're going to be the best version of you. As soon as these babies, get a little bigger, you're going to be all right.
She's the best version of herself now as well. She's
They got other things to do. Life ain't just about cheering, but that's a whole other show. But baby, we love you, and happy Valentine's Day. Also to my mom.
I love it.
The first woman I love.
I feel like I want to throw these, but it's not going to go well.
It's like
right here. Right.
Well, we got a great second half coming up. We got Governor John Rolle is here to talk about the state of the economy here in 2023. And so we're going to enjoy that conversation and just see what happens from there.
Absolutely. And we're going to find out whether or not we will have snuggle weather tomorrow with a second look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
This is Weather at Sunrise.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Good morning, Bahamas. And your second look at the weather. We do have that high pressure system now that dominates the feature. The cool front now in the central Bahamas, triggering a couple of showers. High pressure will generate some breezy conditions over the next 24 to 36 hours. In the marine forecast today, we do have an advisory posted in northwest Bahamas. Those winds northerly at 15 to 25 knots, seas 5 to 8 feet over northwest and central Bahamas. South to southwest at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the southeastern islands. Tomorrow, across all the islands, northeast to east at 20 knots, seas 47 feet over the northwest Bahamas, 15 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet over the central and southeastern islands. Then on Wednesday, those winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 the northwest Bahamas, 15 knots, sea 3 to 5 feet over the central and southeastern islands. Your tides. Currently have a low tide at 7:03 this morning. Next high tide will be at 48 minutes past midday. Low again this evening at 7:03. Sunset, 6:02 this evening, rising was 6:44. UV index 7, your water temperature 73 degrees Fahrenheit, honeymoon phase, last quarter. Your week, another lovely weekend still weather-wise, high pressure is the dominant of the feature, partly sunny skies. Warm temperatures after Tuesday. Temperature daytime will be in the low to mid-80s at daytime, at nighttime in the upper 60s. That puts you up in your final look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Godfrey. The governor of Central Bank, John Rolle, is here to talk to us about the economy of the Bahamas here in 2023. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning.
We're talking about being up dead early. This is late for you, right? And you say you'd be up from 4 in the morning, but that's when the most productive things happen. So we're talking about the state of the economy here in 2023. Tell us some of the indicators that we look for that tell us about the financial recovery of our economy.
Well, I must say that coming off the COVID-19 setback, we've had a very healthy rebound. Last year, 2022, we estimated the Bahamas grew between 7 and 9%, and it's possible we could grow above 5% in 2023. And what it really reflects is that a lot of people just couldn't travel during the pandemic, and it is really that pent-up demand for travel that is pushing tourism along. In addition, we have very strong foreign investment flows, particularly targeting real estate and tourism development. Some of that was happening even during the pandemic. And when you combine them together, you really see the strength of the Bahamian recovery. We see it most readily just in terms of the amount of foreign exchange that's going through the banking system. And last year, we would have seen about a 1/3 pick up in the amount of total inflow through the banking system. Now, the flip side of that is as incomes have come back, Bahamians are spending more. So we're seeing at least a 25% pickup in terms of the amount of foreign exchange we're using to purchase imports and other goods and services. But that's not a bad thing. That's just the nature of the Bahamian economy.
That's just a part of how the economy fluctuates.
Yes.
And part of how it all flows. You mentioned 7 to 9% growth for 2022. Is that significant compared to the average?
I would say that we should get too distracted by that. By some estimate, the Bahamas lost about a quarter of its GDP in the first year of the pandemic. And so if you've grown by 7% one year, you've grown by about 8% the other year, and likely 5% this year, you're still not at the end of 2023 likely, or you might be just back to where you started. So a lot of what we've been experiencing is really recouping what we lost. Once we get beyond this, it's like the Bahamas is going to settle into an ordinary growth pattern, which is expected to be not even 2% average per year. And that's the number that we have to be focused on a lot more, because that's the number we want to increase.
Well, you mentioned 2%. I was about to ask, do you think we'll exceed international expectations in terms of our growth of between 4 to 6%? I think the IMF projects about 4.1% for 2023. Do you think we'll exceed
Yeah,
that?
I think even if we exceed it, we won't be dramatically different from it. But what that really reflects is that there's still that carryover of the momentum, and we're expected to see, therefore, better growth rates than many of the international economy. Of course, again, the rest of the world recovered faster than we did. So even looking at how us growing faster now, it is really just reflection of the lag in terms of how we've performed.
Well, that's a question I have. You hear this saying that the U.S. catches a cold and the Bahamas sneeze, or was that the way? The U.S. sneezes and the Bahamas catches a cold. How does our economy, you talk about this lag time, how does it relate to what's happening in the world? And what is that lag time that happens between?
Well, again, these are extraordinary times, but normally what the Bahamas has the bad experience of having recessions when we do that are longer than American recession, because as the U.S. economy starts to slow down, it often shows up in the Bahamas as a reduction in economic activity. And even as the U.S. often gets out of its recession, we sometimes experience a few extra quarters of economic contraction. So typically we're on both sides of the U.S. recessions when they occur. This time it is different because there's this very strong rebound in travel. But there are many other headwinds that we are facing. For example, the high price of oil, that's a damper on competitiveness of tourism. As far as airlines are concerned, that's a cost. It's a cost that passes through in electricity for hotels, and so it does dampen some of that momentum. And on the whole, international capacity in the airline industry is still not back to where it was before the pandemic.
Right, and that leads into my next question. You said that while tourism's full recovery from COVID ravages is incomplete, that it's considerably advanced. So tell us how we've advanced and what's left to be done.
When we looked at the the seasonality in tourism. So it's best to compare each month with its comparable month in the previous year. So if you do that for the Bahamas, the best months for tourism were the first half of 2019, and no, the first 8 months of 2019, and the last 4 months of 2018. The last 4 months of 2019, we were still battling the recovery from Hurricane Dorian, so those months didn't do as good as 2018. So if you add those 12 months together, we were about 90% of the way there in the cruise numbers by the end of November. By December, we may be closer to 100%. I haven't re-looked at the numbers. In the hotel sector, or stopover arrivals, we were above 80%, approaching 90%. So we expect that in 2023, we're going to get back to the level and be in a position to begin to grow above those record numbers. Now, you hear some numbers about us doing better than pre-pandemic in some cases, but in many cases, that's a comparison with the whole of the calendar year 2019, with where we are now. And in some of those numbers, yes, you're probably already back to where you were.
Well, that's a positive outlook. And as we talk about the recovery of the economy, will commercial banks be lending more in 2023?
I think banks do want to lend more, but it comes down to credit worthiness. Banks have been on a very multi-year process of trying to reduce the average delinquency rate for loans. Right now, the average delinquency rate in terms of persons who are at least 3 months behind without a payment is around about between 7 and 8% of all loans that banks have lent. And so, and that's a number that we should be mindful of, because in comparable state in other countries, even having 5% delinquency rate is problematic. So we still have a good distance to go in terms of getting the delinquency rate lower. And really, it's looking at the delinquency rate and the risk in terms of sorting out who you can lend to. That is really what continues to hold back banks in terms of new lending. But we think that having a credit bureau is going to help to resolve that, because then there's less doubt about who you're giving credit to when you can see what their credit profile looks like.
Right, I was going to ask, is the credit bureau responsible for, or a part of the strategy for getting that number down in terms of delinquency rates on commercial loans?
It helps, because first of all, it will allow banks to sort better out who to lend to, and also it empowers them to make more differentiation in terms of the interest rates that they charge to borrowers. And it means that if you are one of those who claim that you are low risk, then you will have more evidence to back up your position and be in a stronger bargaining position to get a better interest rate on a loan.
One thing I'm sure is on a lot of persons' mind is inflation has gone on over the past few months to year. I can't tell the exact date, but do we expect to see inflation on goods and services to continue, or is there a reprieve in sight?
When you look at what's happening on the international side, and our inflation is imported, there is a trend internationally which seems to show that inflation is slowing. The relationship in the Bahamas is not timed 1-to-1. So it is likely that as we progress through 2023, we'll see some of that catch up with the Bahamas, and we might begin to see the slowing down. But it's from the data that we have, you don't see that yet. But our data in the Bahamas, I don't think is even yet to December. But so I do expect that over the course of this year, we should begin to see some of the benefits of what's beginning to happen in the United States.
That's great. You've explained to us the lag effect and the impact of the international economy on the Bahamas. But what can we as everyday Bahamians do in our everyday lives to help improve or push this recovery of our economy along a little bit faster?
Well, we look at the total numbers, but it all adds up. One of the things that you try to get across to all of us as Bahamians is to be very responsible in your personal finances, focus on affordability, focus on allocating more of your income towards your investment, your retirement, and not so much of it on the instant gratification from consumption. So even if you're borrowing, it's okay to borrow. Really, it's how you use what you're borrowing the funds for. And a good example is borrowing to finance a home, right? So, or borrowing to pay for education because you expect some return. So credit is not bad, but it's how you're using it to uplift your circumstances and put yourself in a better position long term. If you do that individually, then it percolates upwards, and we see it in the totals, because then we will see it as a country in terms of much larger amounts of reserves, foreign reserves that a central bank would have. We would also see it in terms of larger amounts of ownership in businesses, because we would have more of our own resources to plow into businesses. And we would see it in terms of general investments in a country. So each of us, if we take the right action or the right attitude, you would see it collectively in the numbers.
Very wise words, and I'm going to take that advice, and we all should take that advice. We hear about the economy, we see what's going on in the news, and we feel it's out of our control. We're happy to have central bank and you as governor there leading the charge on getting our country recovered. But we can do things as individual Bahamians, as you said, to contribute to the collective. So I'd like to thank you again, Governor John Rolle from Central Bank, here talking about the recovery of our economy in 2023 and giving us some good advice on how we as individual Bahamians can help to contribute to the collective. So thank you again for being up with us dead early on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you, Mark.
It's a pleasure. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise, and we'll be right back.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers.
It does not matter
which of us you choose.
You can pay for goods and services
wherever sand dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
What do you want from a cloud solution? You want flexibility and edge? You want to modernize applications with the ability to deliver new ones with lightning speed. You want an infrastructure that's automated, secure, cost-effective, and scalable. You want to give the end user the freedom they want with the control you need. You can't get all that from just any cloud. You need something better. You need Bahamas Cloud. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
One thing, two things, blue thing, old things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Welcome back. We are getting ready for Valentine's Day, which is considered by many to be the most romantic day of the year. So we know that everyone is planning their special romantic dinners and romantic evenings to remember. But if you're going to have a romantic meal, you have to have the right wines. So naturally, we're here at Premier Cru with Kyle Stubbs, the wine manager and sommelier, and he's going to show us how to find the perfect wine for your Valentine's Day celebration. Well, welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to get into this. So let's start with the basics. What makes a great bottle of wine?
There's two sides to that conversation about a great bottle of wine. It's the components of the wine and who's the wine for, right? So when we look at the components of wine, we're talking about acid, sugar, alcohol, water, and then some other things. Phenolic compounds, we call it. What gives it aromas, what gives it textures, what gives it flavors. On the other side is knowing if somebody has a preference for something that's sweet, something that's dry, something that's tonic. But when we generally have that question, what makes it good or the perfect bottle of wine, it's something that's in balance. It's where the acid is behaving, the alcohol isn't too offensive, the fruit character isn't dominating, the dryness is there, but it isn't overpowering, and you can say this is a balanced, good, enjoyable wine. That's my description of the bottle.
The perfect wine.
Indeed.
I'm going to jump into asking, what is your favorite wine? I see you have a host of wines here.
You put me on the spot with this one. But out of what we have in the front of us, Bonanza and Decoy, the Cabernets would be my favorite. Bonanza belongs to a very well-known wine-producing family, the Wagner family. They produce things like Camus and Imolo. And actually, some of the juice that's in this bottle was destined for Camus, right? So we talk about pedigree behind this bottle. Decoy as well belongs to a nice family. Duckhorn everybody's familiar with, right?
Okay.
And Decoy is just a sub-label, right? Not as expensive. But this Cabernet, Napa Valley, just represents good quality, good fruit character. These two wines for me on Valentine is when the chocolate dipped strawberries show up, you know, the chocolates, the white chocolate, the after dinner kind of thing. Those two, I think, would be awesome.
Well, it sounds like the makings of a very romantic evening.
Indeed.
When it comes to occasions like this, people love to talk about the bubbly. So it seems like sparkling wines are very popular. Can you talk about why that is, why they're associated with romance and celebration?
Well, truth be told, when we talk about the king of the sparkling wine category, we talk about champagne.
Of course.
Right? And when we go back to champagne, it's from France. And when we speak about countries where we reference love, we speak about France and Paris and that kind of stuff. And so, status-wise, the category of bubbly is known as a celebration category of wine. But the most premium or the most luxe in that would be champagne. And so on Valentine's Day, we talk about opening up the palate, good conversation, showing intention. It's bringing or starting a conversation with bubbly. It only makes sense to go to champagne. And for us here at Bristol's this Valentine, you can get champagne very inexpensively priced. $67, these Laurent Perrier on discount. And I brought out two. One is the Brut, so the traditional, the classic, the dry, and one is the demi-sec. So again, knowing who the wine is for, a preference on a little bit more sweetness. So when we talk about dry or Brut and demi-sec, we literally talk about retopping off this bottle of sparkling wine with dry wine, but how much sugar is in the dry wine. So the Brut has little to less or to no sugar, where the demi-sec has a little bit of sugar added to it to give us that sweetness, that roundness kind of thing.
And I'm going to say, I think anecdotally, Bahamians are a little more into sweet wine.
Indeed. And so just, you know, stepping it up because it is Valentine and spending a little bit more to show intention, you know, $67 on a demi-sec. True champagne, I think, is an awesome approach to Valentine.
Now, if you wanted to elevate your Valentine's experience, but maybe you don't have a $67 budget, what bottles would you recommend? Maybe not even sparkling wine, but what wines would you recommend for somebody on a budget?
Super. So my favorite, which we actually have inside our glass right now, is a, you can get this for $13.50.
Okay.
Right? Dr. Lucen, the #1 German Riesling producer, right? This is their very approachable dry Riesling. Although they say dry, there's still a noticeable level of sweetness to it, right? Obviously sweeter than the typical Chardonnay or Pinot Grigio, but it also has a nice acid bite, right? And I say an acid bite because you're gonna end up with some charcuterie or something to nibble on the side of it. An acid is that one component in wine that we depend on to make an enjoyable experience between food and wine. Outside of that, we have this nice Fleur de Paris Rosé, which is from the Mediterranean in the south of France. And you can get this for $21 bucks.
Wow.
Right? Again, classic style, lightly pressed.
A beautiful bottle.
Again, gentlemen, right packaging. We eat and drink with our eyes and our nose before we put it in our mouth. So packaging speaks to everything. But again, good acid character. Something on the side of a nice charcuterie board. I think this Fleur de Paris Rosé would be awesome. You know, we do have valued wines, but I would say for Valentine's, let's just move it up a little bit in price point, but still be conscious of the pocket.
It's a special occasion.
Indeed.
Now, you mentioned charcuterie boards. I see we have some lovely little treats in front of us. Tell me about the history, I guess, of charcuterie and wine, and why it's something that you want to do this Valentine's
So
Day.
again, going back to the champagne conversation in France and French, that's where we got this understanding and appreciation for food and wine, classic pairings, right? So we talk about charcuterie, but we speak about, you know, classic French and Italian meats and cheeses, and then being paired with wines. Today now, we call it all kind of things. Glazed boards, charcuterie boards, and the likes, but it's literally understanding, you know, the processes and appreciating smoked meats, various forms and styles and textures of cheeses, and how they can form with different wines. So in the front of us, I have some very good friends at Paradise Charcuterie, who at the call would, you know, hey, I got you covered, Kyle. But they gave us a nice board of mixed cheeses and textures. There's some brie, soft, very soft. There's some hard cheddar. So we can also have these reds that play with the charcuterie board. There's some Havarti, so in between that soft texture of brie and hard cheddar. And then there's some Toscana. We have some salty prosciutto, right? And then there's some salami with a little bit of peppercorn, so a little bit of spice combination. And so in our glass is the Riesling that has a little bit of sweetness but has the acid. The sweetness is to make sure the peppercorn and the salami and the saltiness of the prosciutto doesn't outperform in the palate, but then the acid is to make sure that we cut through the textures of the cheeses and it's an enjoyable experience.
Well, I think we really owe it to ourselves to give this a try.
Indeed.
So I want to do the whole experience.
Indeed.
So I'm just going to go ahead.
Go ahead,
Do you
you
want to,
go
should I
ahead.
be polite and share with you? Even though you know these people very well, so you can call them anytime.
Indeed, just grab a cracker, just grab a, there you go.
Oh gosh, I'm kind
There
of
you go.
destroying this flour. Let's see.
There's a
I think
nice
I'm going to
big-
have a fancy cheese.
There you go,
It's,
nice-
it's okay, it's just you and I, so we can touch things.
Indeed, and it will be Valentine's, and you know, we won't be pretentious on that day. And then just a nice little sip of the Riesling behind that.
I'm going to be rude and talk with my mouth full. I noticed that you swirl and then you snip. What is the significance of that?
There's a lot of compounds inside of wine. And at various temperatures, or based on various levels of interaction with oxygen, they express themselves. So because we literally just took it out of the fridge, it was still cold, wanted to increase its surface area with a little bit of oxygen so I can get a full expression as to what it is that I'm smelling and tasting.
So if somebody wants to create this experience for themselves, tell me, what are your store hours? Do you have any special Valentine's Day hours and any sales that they can take account of?
So we do have some fantastic sales going on right now, some Valentine sales. You can enter to win some things, including paying for some utility bills.
Okay.
You can win some charcuterie boxes as well. And our stores, they're all 9 to 6.
Okay.
And that's Monday through Saturday. You can reach me at kyle.stubbs@bristol.bs, just for a little bit more of a personalized approach to Valentine's. I do have 1 or 2 partners that I work with when it comes to personal chefs and charcuterie boards, and then I make some nice wine suggestions.
That is incredible. Let us toast to an amazing Valentine's Day courtesy of Bristol Wines. Thanks for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We have had an incredible show today. We went from the Super Bowl and the highs and the lows to preparing for Valentine's Day to preparing the economy.
Yeah, right.
What's to come? So we were able to cover a lot of ground. We hope that you enjoyed today just as much as we did. Be sure to tune in on Friday. And until then, this is Bahamas at Sunrise.
Enjoy your Valentine's Day tomorrow and see you on Friday. Have a great week.